Hey guys, this is Vegas Horse Pool. I'm here with my buddy Adam. How you doing today, Adam?
I'm doing great here in sunny Dallas.
Dallas, Texas. I used to live there. It's a really cool place. We got together today because there's a crazy fight that I just cannot believe the line movement's on. So I wanted to go to the guy, probably the tout of the year, Prime Adam here, to try to figure out what's going on, what the books need. But we're going to talk a little bit about this Tyson fight. Adam, give us the inside information. What does the book need on this fight?
So right now we're sort of fairly well balanced. It's been on purpose. Early days when we saw this line, it felt like it was a little high on the Paul side, so we took Paul action early on. A hell of a lot of Tyson money's come back the other way as this line's really dropped, which I'm sure you've experienced with the way you look at anything as long as there's an arb and whatnot. So it's really been an interesting past week of seeing what's happening with this. But our goal here is to either break square or win a little bit, and definitely not lose anything major on Tyson.
It looks like that's everybody's goal. Well, I've been watching the lines across the world because that's what Spanky pays me to do with Spank odds. But this fight has been crazy. When I look at the I'm not a originator of boxing. I'm not a boxing expert. But I'm looking at the tail of the tape on these two fighters. Jake, Jake is half his age. He's taller. He has a 5-inch reach. Now, just imagine this for a second, Adam. You're going to fight yourself 30 years ago. Who's going to win that fight?
See, for me, that's an interesting fight because I'm a hell of a lot smarter and lesser, probably aggressive than what I was back then. Um, and I'm probably like a good 80 to 100 pounds heavier now than back then. Uh, so I'd be really sort of trying to stay out of the way and just jab and move, which is kind of what this fight will end up being like. I imagine Tyson will sort of do his old natural bob and weave and try and get in there and through, some power early on. For Paul, it's, I think, survive the first few rounds, just keep a distance, jab. You know, Unfortunately, if he does what he should do, there'll be lots of boos because it'll be kind of a non-eventful aspect. So the hope is that, they step into each other occasionally and sort of let it loose and see what falls. With these big gloves, it is really hard to possibly knock someone out. You're going to have to land a couple of good shots over a period of time, or Paul just naturally wear down Tyson. Or like Tyson was against Kevin McBride in 2005, he was shot and just was going to give up and was no chance at all. So, we look at the previews, and I think all these videotapes coming out of Tyson's camps kind of what's shot this money down, thinking, wow, he looks like he did 20 years ago. We know that's not a reality. Is if there's one sport that age has really shown up, it is in boxing. People can just lose overnight based on getting a few years older. But, everyone likes a circus and going to have a look, and we'll see what this ends up happening come Friday night.
Yeah, it should be a very interesting fight. I kind of quit following boxing back when Sugar Ray Leonard retired. That's how long ago I gave up on the sport. But I got to tell you, I'm actually really excited to watch this fight. Everybody I know has Netflix, so
Yeah,
I don't see how Netflix is going to make any money from doing this. Maybe it's going to attract a few new customers, and I hope it does for them. But there's also a group out there, and I'd like to address this group also, is the people that say this fight's fixed. Well, if
yeah,
this fight is fixed, it can't go to Tyson. It has to be fixed the other way because Tyson's
correct.
getting $20 million to be in this fight, and he has no second fight. He's done.
Yeah,
Where Jake has another fight. I know he's getting 40 million, but he's got another fight behind this. Tyson doesn't. So if you believe the fight is fixed, you're with Jake Paul. If you
yeah,
believe the younger man wins, you're Jake Paul. If you believe the guy with the taller guy, the guy with the longer reach wins, it's Jake Paul. I'm not saying Tyson about nothing here. I watched the press conference, and of course, I never do this because I gave up on boxing when Sugar Ray Leonard retired. But I watched the press conference with Tyson, and he didn't win the press conference in my eyes either. He had one snappy word. Did you happen to watch it?
No, I caught a bit of it, but I didn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah, you didn't miss anything. I wasted a lot of time because I wanted to see some fire in Tyson.
Right.
There's no fire. He needs this $20 million. I don't know if there's going to be a knockout or not. I do find it very interesting that the rounds are only going to be 2 minutes. I find that interesting. You've already brought up the fact about the gloves being a little bit bigger. I think it went from 10 ounce to 14 ounce. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I find that interesting also. I was buying Jake Paul early in the week at minus 210, minus 215, and I wish I would have bought none of it now.
Right.
Because now, looking at spank odds right now, you can find much better numbers than that. So if you're a top-down guy and you believe in top-down, I'm on the wrong side of this. All the money is flowing in on Tyson. So I figured, and this is what I wanted you to say, is you desperately need Jake Paul, because I do. But you're not telling me that.
No, it's not where it's set up right now. But again, we're doing this in a way of just in case that's the group, and whether it's small or large, thinks that this is just, this is WWE and the results already known. The X factor is this is Mike Tyson. He bit off somebody's ear. If it's going the wrong way or some agreement they made gets, Paul does something during the fight that upsets Mike, he might just let loose and go nuts. Who knows what's going to actually happen here? But this is kind of remnant of McGregor Mayweather, of the price going up and down, and then it sort of got to a point where Mayweather was just too good a price. All the pros, all the sharps, end up betting in one direction. Their fear right now is, again, that, something is off about it. But if it is, as you just summed up very well, then Paul's likely the result, because he's the one that potentially has a future to, have other fights like this, sort of bring, big spectacles together. Whereas Tyson, this is sort of a one and done. The other aspect too might be, you could think that there's a rematch clause. Tyson wins the first one, Paul wins the second one. But I don't know if Tyson has that in him to go into this more than once. So, with the prices the way they're set up right now, I think the draw is a bit big. I think there's 12s popping up, 11-1. Tyson could get the early rounds, but then, these judges are probably set up to lean towards Paul as well. And then Paul by decision, I saw 3-1 popping up. I think there's a chance someone lands on the canvas at some point in time, but someone winning by knockout, Paul by knockout, seems very much an underlay. But that also counts for technical knockout and disqualifications and things like that as well. So you sort of got multiple coverages there. But yeah, right now the price is looking better on Paul. I'm not going to tune into it. I've got Tyson at 3-1 or bigger. As I said, generally can't tout in certain spots because once I've bet, price doesn't exist anymore. My last bet was at plus 260, but as we'd spoken, it's getting down to minus 195, minus 190 and things like that. It's, if it gets any lower, that just might be Paul's the price to play and sort of put all that plus 260, plus 280, plus 300 back and just go for the entertainment and not have a big sweat either side.
When I'm betting money, it's never entertainment for me. So I don't even know what you're talking about entertainment. But I'll tell you the thing that scared the life out of me this morning on this fight was there's a book. I can't bet there because I don't live in that state. But when they dropped it to a minus 185, I felt like burning my phone because I don't think Paul's any good, because this book scares me a lot. Every time I see something in the market and I'm against that book beats me. So I am very, very price sensitive to that book, even though I can't bet it. Now, this is the magic of spank odds. Even though there's a million books in the world and I can only bet 10 of them here in the state of Nevada, maybe it's 8 now, I'm not sure. I can watch the other books around the world, even though I can't bet there. And this book is just deadly. What I will tell you that I'm very happy about is they very quickly came off that minus 185. They're back to a solid minus 200. So,
Right.
do you
Well,
have
I
any?
think that's the point. I think once you get under minus 200, you're going to see money popping up for Paul. Possibly the bigger money, the sharper money, and I think that's where you get the resistance. Anything under minus 200, you're going to get resistance, and I expect it to close a little bit higher once we get into the meat of it tomorrow.
Well, I'm sure hoping it closes minus 210 or better, so I don't look like an idiot being a top-down guy sitting on minus 210 tickets. Because I bet more on this fight than I should have, a lot more than I should have. But God, I can't see Jake Paul losing it. So I'm gonna fly with this one. I'm not touting this. I'm not recommending that you do it. I'm not recommending anybody that listening does it. I cannot see Jake Paul losing this fight. Even if it's fixed, I can't see him losing the fight. So I'm willing
Well,
to
you got
bet.
you got bold statements there, Scott, and I know how you bet, and you're sticking your neck out here.
I
So
am.
watch out for those gambling gods.
I got to say, I've probably angered them greatly, but I'm willing to take the gambling gods on in this fight because I
Yep.
cannot come up with a scenario where Tyson wins. After I saw that press conference and he did not impress me, I can't come up with one single reason to pick him. He lives in Las Vegas. I'd love to meet the guy. I think he was one of the greatest fighters of my lifetime 30
Yep.
years ago. He ain't fighting 30 years ago. He's
No.
58 years old. And 6 months ago, they had to postpone this fight because he had health issues.
Yeah. If this fight had have gone in July, like even leading up to it, it'd be a 3-1, 2-7, 4-1 favorite because Tyson he didn't look well. He didn't put in the work. The work that he's put in since then might be just a false prophecy and has gotten this to a really valuable number on Paul as well. These videos coming out leaking of, him against the heavy bag and, different things like that. It might be really setting up for a really good price on Paul. I'm just not laying those kind of numbers. I don't lay those kind of numbers on fixed results. So, I'll play around with it. I'll stick with the dog money that I'm going on. I'll balance the book as much as possible. I'll chip away, have a bit on the draw, probably Jake by decision, and then just go and enjoy the show. I think there's going to be one hell of a women's fight on the undercard.
Yeah.
And then there's another one that I'm kind of looking at where there's a guy around 6-1. I'm waiting to go back and look at the weigh-ins and see how he went there. But it might be a bit of value there, which I'll post later on once I get confirmation that that's a go.
That sounds really good to me. So it sounds like in this particular fight, it's me versus you because I've got Paul and you got Tyson. And
there you go.
Let me look at the boards real quick. It looks like the Paul side's taking money. We've now moved just in the last 2 minutes. We've moved from minus 200, best price in the world, to now minus 207. So the money is flowing back that direction.
Yeah. And that's expected. As I said, I think it'll 220, 230. Last I looked, we were still like 225, 230. We weren't chasing it all the way down to minus 200. I think laying plus 190, laying the minus 230, 240. We're building a balanced book. On I think it was Sunday night or Monday night, we dropped it down to minus 245, 250, got instant action. So found our resistance there. So again, we're just hovering this. The orders to the guys has been just balance this out. I'll look at it before I head to the stadium tomorrow and sort of be watching from there as well. But again, it's kind of a good experience to see what a next Netflix event is when, they're going to be having the games on Christmas Day, sort of seeing what the latency is and a few other things like that. So, it's should be an entertaining card, an entertaining event, and we'll see how the results fall.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. And I kind of feel like this might be part of my interview for the new trading job I'm going to be applying for when this new book starts in Nevada. I'm going to need Paul for my life here and my job, maybe. So you'll give me points in the interview if Paul wins this for me?
For sure. It definitely showed that you knew what side it was. You knew where to hold the number at, not go too far with the market. You're an educated trader.
Oh, I appreciate that. I just hate that I'm holding all this minus 215 when I'm looking at a minus 207 out there. I hate that. Oh my God, we just took a hit. This is live. We just went back to minus 185 at the book I'm scared of.
Wow, that is a big move.
That is, the bottom just fell out of the market. Oh my God. Yeah, this could potentially cost me my job. Because if this book is right, and they always are against me, Paul's got no shot at all. But I'm sticking with my guns here. I'm going to fight one more time. This might be Custer's last stand, and we all know what happened on that event. But I'm going to stand here with Paul. Adam, if you got anything else, you don't have anything on the rounds, do you? Because I certainly have not seen any big movement on the rounds.
No, so there is. I've seen 4.5s over 20. I've seen 5.5s under 10. I even looked at last night potentially playing the middle. I heard that there's some 6.5s around laying a bit of money, but I think that's a really good range. That if you to take the middle, get it at 12, 14 to 1. If you look at the price of the rounds, one fight is significantly under that. So there's probably some value where you can play the over rounds and the under rounds, have a decent middle, anywhere sort of between that 12, 14, 15 to 1 for one round, or if you can get 2 rounds for a little bit cheaper than that. There's probably some value in doing that as well. And I expect these markets to get a little wild tomorrow as, people see the weigh-in and that today, more information. And then as it gets closer to fight time, again, there's going to be a lot of eyes on this. Netflix and whatnot. It's people that are in the States that can bet. I expect to see, there's been a hell of a lot of money bet on this thing so far, and I expect to see a good amount more.
Yeah, well, I want to tell a real quick story, and then we'll get out of here. The day I found out about middling and how there's all this free money in the market on middling, I tried it for multiple months. I never have hit a middle. Middles in this fight, you could give me 1.5 rounds to 6.5 rounds, and I would not hit the middle. So a long, long time ago, this has been years ago when I found out about middling, I won't do it. I just bet the right side and hang on. And usually I bet a number that I'm comfortable with, but I didn't even do that in this fight. I bet a lot more than I'm comfortable with. So for me, you'll never call me Scott in the middle, ever. Maybe I'll have to call you Adam in the middle, huh?
Yeah, well, for me, middling is like betting horses. Like you're betting things at 10 to 1, 14 to 1, things like that. So, my first really big middle was the Super Bowl that landed on 7. I think it was the Titans Rams. Again, memory fading as I get older, but could get 6.5, could get 7.5, loaded up both sides, and it landed on 7 with a short yard of the touchdown to tie it up. And then I've had a few others like that. It's really a game where you have to do it a lot, have a lot of opportunities, and know that the goal is to hit 1 out of every 10 if you're getting them at 12 or 14 or 16 to 1. However, the markets are a lot more efficient today. There's a lot less opportunities like this. You've really got to be betting across countries where you can get access to books that are really still old school, not moving their numbers, setting their numbers day one, and then holding them up, where they're full of recreational money and stuff like that. So it's really hard to do good middling these days, unlike 20, 25 years ago. So I can see exactly where you're coming from there.
Yeah, I've definitely gave it up after 3 months of never hitting one. But maybe I can talk you into broadcasting live from the show then, from the fight tomorrow.
So yeah, I think we can touch base again tomorrow once I'm in stadium, got my seat. We look at the undercard, maybe between a couple of the fights or before the big one starts. We'll jump on for a quick update.
Let's do that. Let's plan on that. Adam, I really appreciate all your time. Unfortunately, we don't have a tout pick from you on this one, since you're trying to keep the
not yet, but we've still got 27 hours till fight time. So let's see where the book goes and what we have come fight time.
There we go. There's the teaser for people. And guys, I am not a tout. I'm not good at this. The book I'm scared to death of right now just went against me. So if you're probably going to be better off fading my opinion than not. But I can't see it anyway. But Jake Paul. But with that, Adam, we're out of here. Thanks for everybody for watching. You guys have a good day.